Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessica Anderson. I am an IBCLC and I am a complete pump nerd here to help support your pumping journey. So today we're going to talk about the Idaho Jones Cushy Flanges. I am in love with these flanges, and not just because I'm the IBCLC that partnered with Idaho Jones to test them. It's not the only reason I love them. I love them because they work. This is something we really needed. So the Cushy Flanges are actually not new. They've been around for several years, at least 2 to 3. I think pushing closer to 3. And I've loved them the entire time. They had 24, 27, and 21. I wished the entire time we had smaller sizes, but honestly, we were able to use the 24 with inserts for the majority of people who needed that flange. And our typical use for them was when we needed a grippy flange that was less likely to move on the breast, that provided even soft compression to the nipple. So silicone flanges are not new on the market. We've had them for many years, and all of them have their pluses and minuses. And if you're curious about that, please look at the resources linked in the description and you can see all the different things, because this one does not need to be scared of competitors, because this one is awesome and it is going to be the option that is going to work for, I think, the majority of moms who want a silicone flange. It's soft, it's not too deep. You can lean this back if you have really wide, broad breast tissue. You can lean this back in order to get your nipple perfectly centered and then flip it forward, but you don't have to. You can also just place it against the breast like a standard flange. But when we compare that to the plastic rim, so plastic is great for on the nipple because it allows the nipple to slip and move freely, which is what we want. Restricted nipple movement is not our friend. With this, it's going to apply pressure to the areola because the areola doesn't belong in the flange tunnel. So one of the ways that we do that is we can get flanges that are so small the areola can't get in there, which has its pluses and minuses. We do use hard plastic flanges all the time. And they're kind of like our gold standard. It's kind of our standard. We get you properly fitted with the right shape and size of hard plastic flange to see where your output should be. Silicone is not necessarily going to be the solution for sizing. It's going to be the solution for things like elastic nipple tissue, where the nipple just stretches and it gets really irritated by hard plastic flanges. Most of the irritation is actually going to be at the base of the nipple on the areola, where it just refuses to stay put. This is going to correct that. If you have bulbous nipples, which is when the base of the nipple is a little bit more narrow than the tip of the nipple, this can be a problem because if we get the tunnel wide enough for the tip of the nipple, we're constantly ending up with areola being pulled in just because, we can't defy physics. This is going to help us with that. Not that it's going to let us defy physics, but the gentle compression movement that we get is going to prevent that base of the areola from stretching into the flange and causing excessive tissue movement. Can you use this with lubrication? Absolutely, which means I can make this part sticky on your areola so it stays put, and I can make this part slippery for your nipple. It is the best of both worlds. This is going to work really well for moms who have a hard time getting a bra to hold their flanges up. This is going to be basically universally compatible with most flange setups. So most flange setups, it's going to connect right to it. So if you're using a Spectra, a Medela, and a Mita, it's just going to plug into your two-piece setup. If you're using a Zomi Z2 flange, a Baby Buddha flange, you need the two-piece setup with their diaphragm, but then you just need the little main mom adapter, which I'm going to link down below. How do you size this? So this one you're going to size by measuring the base of your nipple at least an hour after last nursing or 2 hours after last pumping in order to measure a non-swollen part. I'm going to recommend measuring first thing in the morning when you've gone your longest stretch without pumping or nursing, because that's going to get you to the answer a little bit quicker. And you're going to try the size that is closest to the nipple base and then one size up, because it's going to depend. And I actually am going to recommend trying both sizes on both sides, because that's going to allow you the largest opportunity to really take advantage of these. Even if you use the same size on both sides in a hard plastic flange, this silicone is unique, so it may feel different to you. So you may want to use it a little bit differently on each side, and that's okay. What I personally found during testing, and what one of my other testers found, is that this helped to reduce the elasticity on one side, but the other side needed a little extra room. Otherwise, it just felt like this little ring right here was pulling. Now, what makes this different from the traditional plastic flanges that are out there? So this is a Lacteck, and I'm not picking on Lacteck because I also love Lacteck. But Lacteck doesn't really have a ring to measure. So I really wish they would not call these 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, because then we're constantly having to battle with mom's understanding of these products, when really it would be better if it was called extra small, small, medium, similar to how Pumpin' Pals does it. This is actually, when we pull this back, these are actually true to size. And how do I know that? Because we tested them. That was one of the things that I was looking at when I was testing them was, is this true to size? If I say that this is a 13 millimeter, does it actually measure 13 millimeters? Yes. Now, does that mean it performs exactly like a 13 millimeter hard plastic flange? No, not quite, because material makes a difference. But for the most part, you're going to be able to find something that is closer to in your size range without having to go, do these run big? Do they run small? Because we're not going to have an issue with Lacteck. What we've run into is if you have wide, broad breasts and your nipple sits towards the outside of the flange, it runs big. If you have a more triangular, pointy breast and the nipple falls further inside naturally, it's going to run a little bit small. So that's where some of the confusion is coming with those products. With this, we're not going to have that. It's going to be more like when we are dealing with hard plastic flanges in terms of the sizing, except you may want to try because the compression is going to interact with everybody's body a little bit differently. As far as lubrication, what I found is that olive oil works better with a silicone flange than what coconut oil does. Coconut oil seems to absorb a little bit faster on the grippy surface, so it did not stay lubricated for quite as long. So, are these a good option for you? Yes, these are definitely something to try. I think if you are pumping with hard plastic flanges, you've already gotten the proper sizing, the proper bra fit, and you feel like it's still a little mechanical, you're having issues with elastic tissue, you're having issues with bulbous nipples, you're having issues with wanting a little bit of a massage action, but not a ton of massage action, and you don't like the Lactech that only massages in one spot, then this is definitely something to consider. I think these are going to be a great option. So definitely read the description down below for all of the resources and happy pumping.